Okay, let's get started. This first concept, well, it really jumped out at me from the sources you shared. Today, we're doing a deep dive into this idea of a universal need for a way of life. And it's fascinating, isn't it? Because, a river just flows and animal acts on instinct. But we humans, we seem to have this requirement to consciously choose our path.
That's exactly it. That distinction is key. I mean, sure, natural laws govern parts of our lives, our biology, obviously.
Right, like breathing, eating.
Exactly. But there are these huge areas, really essential dimensions of life where instinct just, well, leaves us hanging. Our very nature, according to these texts, it kind of compels us to seek out guidance. We need a framework.
Yeah, it's like a built-in need, not just a preference.
Precisely.
So maybe for you listening, what really stands out there? Because it means we're constantly choosing, doesn't it? Beyond just basic survival instincts. And the material you brought, it breaks this down into very specific areas.
It does.
Like needing a way of thinking about the big questions, the profound stuff.
Yeah, the why are we here kind of questions. Nature doesn't just hand you a manual for that.
Not at all. And it's not just the deep philosophical things either, is it?
Yeah.
It's also about making sense of, well, everything our senses throw at us, all that raw data.
Right. How do you organize that? How do you turn sensation into, knowledge or understanding? Again, no built-in guide. And then there's personal behavior. We have all these drives, these desires.
Sure.
But the sources point out we don't automatically have civilized methods for dealing with them. We need sort of rules of engagement for ourselves.
Rules for how we act, how we respond.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it seems like this need, it doesn't just stop with the individual.
Oh, definitely not. That's a major point in the research. This need for guidance, it extends outward. Think about family life. How should that work?
Okay.
Or social relationships in general. How do we build communities?
Right, how do we get along?
And then economic dealings. How do we manage resources, trade, work? Even bigger picture, political organization. How do we govern ourselves?
Wow, okay, so it really covers pretty much everything.
It does, right up to international relations. How do different groups, different nations interact? The core idea is we need a path, a way that helps us pursue these larger goals that, we seem naturally inclined towards but aren't automatically equipped to achieve.
Goals that nature doesn't just give us a simple roadmap for.
Exactly.
So yeah, whether we're talking personal choices or huge global interactions, this need for a guiding philosophy, a way of life, it seems to be everywhere in the human experience. And as we kind of wrap up our deep dive for today, the really striking insight, I think, from all this material is that human life isn't like compartmentalized.
That's a crucial takeaway.
It's presented as one integrated whole, right?
Yeah.
You can't really have totally separate, disconnected operating systems for different parts of your life. There's this idea that a single spirit, a single approach kind of weaves through everything.
Yeah, the analogy used is salt, isn't it?
Yeah, like salt mixed into food. It changes the whole thing. It becomes part of its nature. And a worldview, this way of life, it does the same. It inevitably shapes everything it comes into contact with.
Which leads to a really interesting question for you, the listener, to sort of chew on. The sources argue pretty strongly that, and I'm quoting loosely here, every dominant worldview or religion inevitably seeks to shape all areas of life according to its own spirit and character.
It wants consistency.
Right. So the challenge is to reflect on that. Think about your own way of life, whatever that might be. Or maybe the systems you see operating in society around you. Do these paths, the ones you see or the one you're on, do they genuinely offer that kind of unified purpose, that coherence that maybe our human nature is looking for?
Where all the pieces fit together.
Exactly. Or do they maybe contribute to what the texts describe as a kind of fragmented existence, where life feels more like a collection of separate boxes, maybe even conflicting ones, rather than a single integrated journey?
That's definitely something to think about. Does the way we live or the ways offered to us truly unify us, or does it pull us in different directions?
A really powerful question to leave things on, I think.